Assalamu alaikum and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by saying thank you to Minister Mavi Maiman, first and foremost, for inviting me today and for this much needed initiative. Launching She Decides is in tandem with the need of the hour, which is to facilitate, to empower, and to embrace all the women who are fighting and speaking up for change and trying to find their space in the workplace and in the spectrum of human rights, women's rights, equal rights. It is because of empowering and brave women like her that we will keep these conversations going, now that they have finally started. For the past 10 years, every time I have had a mic in front of me, it is to use my voice to sing. I am not a public speaker. It has not been one of my ambitions. But I guess it's all about perspective. Most people I speak to find it more daunting to stand in front of a large audience and sing. Today, I am out of my comfort zone, speaking to you about something, but I am here to talk about it because speaking the truth should be comfortable for everyone. Lately, as a result of my own experience, I have felt compelled to raise the same voice against the epidemic known as sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, and predatory behavior. This rampant, ugly issue is so widespread, and acts of sexual harassment are committed with such impunity that sexual predators are almost never held accountable. In fact, far from accountability, most sexual predators are never even identified. Never. Nobody calls them out. They go around with their impunity, with their freedom, operating, as always, without a single scare or fear of ever being found out. Shame, that's the word. Shame. That is what allows this impunity. The shame that is attached to speaking up about these wrongdoings. It is so ingrained, so encouraged to stay silent because of the shame that women and even children, and even in a lot of cases men, never consider telling anyone. It's very convenient too, this whole shame game for the criminals who commit such acts. The shame associated with speaking up is so great that almost all victims choose to stay silent. Not being believed, being called liars, damages to reputation, which includes the heavy burden of the family's reputation, vile, vicious character assassination, victim blaming, the burden of proof and evidence. These are just some of the reasons women choose to stay silent. Just some. On a personal level and an emotional level, there is trauma, there is pain, there is suffering, stress, anxiety, depression, attacks on self-esteem, sense of self-worth, self-respect, dignity. Surely something has got to change. In a big way. The endless cycle of shame and silence had gone enough, on and on and on, and I think the time's up. It simply shouldn't be this hard for me or any victim of harassment to speak up about being harassed. No empowered woman enjoys any immunity from being harassed. Let me say that very, very clearly. This is a gross misconception and a stereotyping of women who have to face the burden of their own empowerment and have that build even more pressure on themselves to stay silent. It is just another tactic. However, I do consider myself an empowered woman, and these past few weeks, I have felt that it is very, very, very necessary for at least those who are able to enjoy the support of their families, of their spouses, of their friends, to speak up. It is even more of a responsibility for us so that we can encourage and give guidance to all those who look up to us, who are thinking of speaking up, who are suffering in silence. And as empowered women, if we don't speak up, who will? This fear that victims live in of bringing shame to their name or shame to their families by speaking about this great big taboo of suffering, of being harassed, of being abused, of being objectified. This fear ends now. Instead, I would like to see the predators feel scared. Wouldn't that be a nice normal world? Let them feel the fear that women have felt for so long. Let them feel the shame. Let them carry the burden of proving their innocence. Let's turn the dynamic from victim blaming to victim believing. The price of speaking up is far too high for any woman in our society to be fabricating something as serious, as frowned upon, and as judged as sexual harassment. I'd like to leave you all with a thought. Who decides when and where and in what manner a woman is violated? Not her. When it comes to how and when she reacts, wouldn't it be a good place to start to say, she decides? I think we should all at least give her that. Thank you.